Namaste and welcome to this special episode we're doing today. This episode will be focused on the plight of several young Hindu girls who, as minorities, face terrible atrocities, especially in the region of Sindh in Pakistan. I have with me today, talking on this subject, Deepti Mahajan ji, who runs Chingari, which is a social justice campaign aimed at bringing awareness about this particular issue around the globe. Chingari is organizing a global conclave on the 3rd of June where issues of grooming gangs, trafficking of children, forced conversions of non Muslim Pakistani girls, and the power of advocacy to change this distressing state of affairs will be discussed. Namaste Deepti ji, welcome to our show.
Namaste. Thank you, Pujita ji. Thank you, Citti Media, for having me.
Deepti ji, this is a US based organization. Chingari is based in the US, am I right?
That's correct.
Could you walk us through how this organization came into being and what your core manifesto is?
Chingari is part of a group called Hindu Pact, and Hindu Pact works on multiple Hindutva-related issues, and like you said, advocacy, right? So we do a lot of advocacy for our community here in the US and the issues that we are facing as a minority in America, and make sure that our rights are preserved. So, in the same light, a couple of years ago, precisely around 2019, we started coming across these reports that were mentioning 3 girls a day, 1,000 girls a year in Pakistan are getting converted forcefully. And then we started looking into it deeper and realized that not nobody is talking. Nobody is talking about this issue. So that is where we were a bunch of girls and ladies who work with Hindu Pact, and we realized that this is an atrocity that is mind blowing. It is rampant in Pakistan. I believe everybody knows about what goes on in Pakistan, but we did not know it was at this level, you know. And when I think data plays a lot of factor. So when you hear the numbers, that's when it hits you that, oh my God, like 3 girls a day. And that is what gets reported. You don't even know what does not get reported. So that's how we started looking into it deeper, and then we thought, okay, this is an issue that definitely we need to start working on.
Can you just give us an example of the kind of cases you come across, and also tell us how do you come to know about these cases? What is the process?
Yeah, I can talk to you the whole day about the cases that we work on. Particularly, the if you have looked at the flyer of our conclave,
That's right.
this little girl, she was 9 years old when she was taken. 9 years means that your child is in second or third grade. That is an age you can't even fathom that, छोटी सी चोट लग जाती है बच्चे को तो प्रॉब्लम होती है. That girl was taken away, married off to a 45-year-old monster. You look at that picture, you see this little girl, 9-year-old, standing next to this big man who's 45 years old. He was married off to him, and then they tried to rescue her, but that didn't happen. Then it was in news that she was rescued. I mean, doesn't matter whether she was rescued or not. She was taken when she was 9 years old.
It's true.
So these are the kind of cases that we come across. The case of this girl, Rinkle Kumari. There was a case of this girl. She was right next door to her parents' house, and she is yelling from the rooftop for her mother to come and rescue her. Her mother is standing right there, and she cannot rescue her. She's saying like, come and take me. So imagine that these little kids, they are going through these things where um, parents are right there, they cannot do anything. So there are thousands of cases, and I we work with, yeah, we work with some people on the ground in Pakistan. A lot of media coverage has started happening. There is Hindu Council in Pakistan, and then again, politics is everywhere. We don't know who's working for whom and how much interest do they have. But we do have people on the grounds that give us information.
So you do have people within Pakistan who may not be necessarily, or who are Muslims, say, who are willing to
Both,
help out in this cause. Is
both.
that
Yeah.
okay?
When you mentioned that, I would like to mention there is a movie that was featured in Cannes this year called The Losing Side. It is directed and produced by two people who actually live in Pakistan. They're scared for their life, but like you mentioned, so there are Muslims who are also realizing it is rampant. Like Tahir Boraji talks about it, Arif Azakia, all these people who know this is happening, they do talk about it and they help.
You've mentioned also when we had our talk earlier, when we talked earlier, that it's not just the girls. Is it true that it happens to the boys as well?
Yes. Last week, there was this 14-year-old boy who was gang raped and left for dying. A couple of months back, I think 2 months back, it was a 12-year-old boy. So it's not just the girls, the little boys also go through this.
So the boys are, well, sodomized, raped, and left for the dead, but the girls, they are given away in marriage. Is that how it works?
So that that is the that is the excuse that they make. Oh, they are getting married. No, they are not getting married. You are taking them as your second, third, fourth wife, or you push them in sex slave. You sell them to the terrorists on the borders. Who knows what they do to your girls? And then there have been cases where the girls' bodies have been found with missing body parts.
God,
So it's just unimaginable. How do you do to this to
disturbing.
a child?
It's like as if, if you're a kafir, you don't have a right to live. You have no right to existence. That seems to be the psychology.
Yeah, we all know about that mindset, and that's the reason of this global conference, because it's not just Pakistan. When we heard about the grooming gangs being getting acknowledged, Suela Braverman coming out bravely and talking about um, Pakistani men who are immigrants, and
Yes.
that they are the ones like categorically naming a community that has been doing this for decades in UK. So it is that then there are cases that have happened in US, in Texas. There have been girls who have been groomed. So
In
see,
US, that's
yes,
not known.
it's not known, but it is happening very often. And again, it's the same modus operandi. They sever their ties with the girls sever ties with their families, and now they're living a different life. It's the same modus operandi everywhere.
Sad. Um, so, how involved is Chingari in rescuing these girls? I mean, do you have a direct involvement? How does it play out usually?
Yeah, so rescuing is, I think, it's a different level of involvement. Um, Knowing the knowing Pakistan as a country, that is something which is unimaginable that we can go and rescue somebody. And that is where the idea, the inception of the idea came that US and Western countries need to do something about it. It has to come from the highest of the authorities. It feels like the Western countries are failing these minorities. Like you can talk about every other minority in in the world, and even the people who are coming from Islamic countries, they are shouting wolf. They are shouting they are the victims. So you can, as a Western country, you can talk about their rights. What about the rights of these little girls? So that is where we realize that it's not up to us to be able to rescue them. There is no way we can rescue them. So there has to be an institutionalized effort, a global effort to to take an action against this.
When you say an institutionalized effort, how is Chingari working towards that? Like, how are you, what is the role that you're playing in order to bring a kind of, let's say, at least in the US right now, you're based in the US. What kind of work are you doing in order to get at least the authorities or the people in the US recognize that this is a serious problem, because they seem to think that it's the other way. They think that
Correct.
it's, because Muslims are minorities, so-called minorities in India, they are the ones who are being, persecuted. How is Chingari or organizations like Chingari doing this in a country like the US?
So the effort is multifold. One is definitely raising awareness. Nobody, there's a saying that the mother even does not feed their child if the child does not cry. You have to cry. You have to uh, you have to let people know that you are being victimized. There is, like you're saying, that they're saying minorities are being mistreated, Muslims are being mistreated, or other communities are being mistreated in other countries like Rohingyas. Nobody is talking about these people. Now when I so there was going back to your question. So the effort is multifold. One is raising awareness. Second is working directly with the law enforcement. So we do reach out to the lawmakers. We are having congressional briefings. We are meeting with the Congress members' offices and trying to educate them, and also at a very grassroots level. So we are doing readouts and presentations in city councils, so that even at a city level, city council meetings, not many people attend. Even if there are 40, 50 people, you educate even at that smallest level, and they hear you out. That's awareness. So awareness plus working with the lawmakers to get some kind of bill and resolution in place, that is the end goal.
Yeah, yeah. I think bringing about changes at the, at that level, legislative changes, or those kind of bringing about a bill in the US, for example. Yeah, that's the kind of change that has to happen. Otherwise, this it's not going to have any individual rescuing individual children. Will only go so far. You need to have
Exactly.
uh, some kind of pressure from the top, and that's going to take a long time.
It's a long battle. Yeah, that's the reason why we want people's support, and want people to know that Chingari is doing this so that they can provide their um, it can be any kind of support, physical, emotional, mental, monetarily. We need that support. It's not an easy thing. Like, I've been doing this for 3 years, still get goosebumps talking about cases with people.
Have you seen the movie Kerala Story?
Yes.
What would you say to the people who deny that something like this happens? Because there are many people, not just in the US, there are many people here in India among Hindus who think that this is all just a, someone's figment of imagination, and that this is all just a propaganda.
Pujita, that's a very sad state of mind, but there are different aspects to it. You can think about Stockholm syndrome. You can think about the slave mentality that we have become over the period of time in India. Um, there is there's a lack of what we can. I don't want it to sound casteist. I am not. I don't even talk about caste, but there's a lack of kshatriyata in Indians that needs, and I think enough efforts are being made to make them realize their historical past, which is glorious. And so, at a lot of levels, I would say they are not responsible, but that's not an excuse. You have to, you have all the right resources, you have the right DNA. You need to understand this is happening to you and it is coming to you. They are coming for you. Just a case that happened yesterday with that girl Sakshi. They're coming. They're coming for you.
But even that is being denied, right? They'll say, "Oh, this could be anybody. Why is it being connected to the religion angle? It's just a guy, just a teenage boy who's just lost his head, over the girl and did that." So this is the state of affairs. We have a very very arduous battle ahead of us among our own, Deepti ji. It's not even the other side.
I think this global conference, that is the idea that I had, that people need to hear. It's not restricted to one region, it's not restricted to one country. It is happening worldwide. It is spreading. The mere fact that only one community has been named to for such the grooming gangs. We want people to listen to these girls' stories. You cannot victim shame. You cannot shame the victim and blame the victim. These girls are kids. The girl, that Sakshi girl, she was 16. What do you know when you're 16? So with this conference, I think we need to um, talk to people directly, with people who have been working on this issue for decades. That this is, how long are you going to be that ostrich putting your head down in the sand?
VPG, what about, let's talk about the conclave, because that is the main subject of discussion today, as to what you're planning to do on the 3rd of June, and just walk us through what you're planning to do as part of your conclave, and yeah, so that our viewers, it's an online event, so anyone can join in, right?
Correct. So it'll be a webinar where we have our panelists joining us from different parts of the world. So I have people, the panelists from UK, US, Australia, and India. Um, this time I missed on Canada and Africa because those two countries are also suffering a lot. But maybe the next conference that we have, we will talk about Boko Haram and whatever is happening in Canada too. But so the panelists will talk about these issues like of sex trafficking in minors in US, human rights issues in Australia, and then the grooming gangs, of course. And we will have that discussion that not only what has happened, but what is coming, what is lurking, and also the kind of action items that can be taken. That's a panel discussion. Then we will obviously talk about the action items that Chingari is going to take, and our plan for the upcoming year. So it's an action-packed and discussion-packed agenda, and I would really request people to join and listen in and provide their feedback.
What are you hoping for the outcomes? What kind of outcomes are you hoping to get from this conclave? Like,
Uh, First, definitely awareness about the issue, right? Just knowing that people don't even like. I educated some of my American friends on this, and then they were like, "Oh, we do definitely want to attend the conference and see what it is about. We don't even know." So, people live in their own bubbles. So, just one is awareness. And second, of course, what Chingari is doing to making sure that people know that there are organizations who are working on this issue and we are making an effort. And then, of course, the support of public at large.
Right. Um, Thank you, Deepti ji. Thank you for joining us today. And we finally managed to pull this talk off. We've tried to schedule one for the longest time, but I'm glad we could do this before the conclave. We'll share the flyer in our description box below, as you know, so that people who wish to attend the webinar can do that. It's an online event; anyone can join in.
I really thank you and appreciate taking time and giving me this platform.
Absolutely, anytime for causes that we all are here for. Part of what Chitti does is also a sort of, in a way, advocacy, because we're trying to create awareness about exactly these kind of issues, and it's all part of the larger effort to bring awareness, to build, a counter narrative to the kind of, falsehoods that have been created over the years, to bring our side of the story to the fore. So
Absolutely.
I wish you all the best, Deepti ji, and wish Chingari all the very best for all the good work that you're doing. And I really, really hope that young girls in Pakistan and anywhere else, don't have to go through this um, ever again. But it's a long road ahead. But I do hope that we'll get there someday.
Someday. Yeah. Thank you
And
so much, Mujita.
Namaste, Deepti ji.
Namaste.
To our subscribers, thank you for watching. As Deepti mentioned, please do attend the conclave. It's open to everyone, so you could join in. Even if it's just tickled your curiosity a little bit, please do join in. This is on the 3rd of June, and the flyer will be shared in the description box. So please do spread the word. Also, if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to our channel, like, share, and comment. Please do come back for more content. Namaskar.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.